I'm just going to mention a few things, especially why Nairobi is called the green city in the sun, um, what situation we're in, why we are in such a situation, and some solutions that us guys are, well, it's a combination. Our company, we just try and brainstorm, can we come up with solutions that will solve most of these problems? Many people do not know this company, but we've done very many buildings. I&M Bank, there's Rhyme Tula Towers, Citibank, we've done the fire escape for Hilton, Londro Towers, Windsor Golf and Country Club, Mombasa Serena. I mean, our portfolio stretches, I don't know, practically from Sudan, even Dubai, we did the Arrivals building all the way to Mozambique. So we have quite a huge portfolio. But one of the things which we stress in our company is that we consider the environment as the most important thing. It's the most important part, it's part and parcel of our philosophy. One of the projects that we started, I don't have a picture here, but the first project that Planning Systems as a company did was a housing estate, and we did not even cut down one tree, just to give you an example. Where a tree came in the way, we moved it, but we didn't cut out any tree. It's Lakeview Estate, which is right up near Zen Garden restaurant. Just to give an example of what we do in some buildings, this is Coke Factory in Mombasa, in Mtwapa. The road just there is the Mombasa-Malindi Highway. And for this building, it's a factory, so huge surface area. The building is white, so solar reflects all the light, so there's no heat in the building. One of the things that that a Coke factory actually needs is water. Water is basically the main thing that is needed. And what we did with water is we decided to have three sources. One was from the mains, municipal mains. One was rainwater collection. And by the way, what we did is we just collected water from 3/4 of the roof of the main production building. We decided not to go the whole thing. And the reason was when we installed everything and we started collecting water, in 2 days it filled our tank. And we had to start pumping water away. It was just too much. So, and then what we did is the third source of water is borehole water. But since it's Mombasa, the problem is the salt water is you just have a thin layer of fresh water floating above salt water. So we had to spread it. We had 3 boreholes, and we try and balance, and as much as possible not to use borehole water. So most of it is run just by rainwater. And it works. But the funny thing is, in 18 months, we observed the whole building for 18 months just to see how it's working and everything. We did not get even 1 drop of water from the municipal mains. So it was good. Now, I need the next slide. But the next slide, it's just about Nairobi. And I'll just start talking about it. Nairobi, as many people know, it developed actually from a train station. It was a stop. Oh, yeah, there we are. It was a train stop. So the railways actually owned Nairobi for a very long time. And then what happened is in 1927, Nairobi became the capital city of Kenya. It moved from Machakos, and Nairobi became the capital city. So here you will see just the beginnings of a racially segregated city. 1948 is when we got the first master plan. You will notice in the master plan there's a lot of green space, and that's when Nairobi got the name Green City in the Sun. I hope it comes up, because the next one is important. That was 1948. Nairobi was still racially segregated. 1973, the next master plan for Nairobi was done. And here, everything was, the racial segregation was done away with. And now a growth plan was put in place for Nairobi as a metropolitan city. The master plan is valid, was valid up to the year 2000. And I don't want to go further because you have to see this. Actually, what the master plan envisioned is that the population growth of Nairobi would grow towards Thika. So Ruiru, then all the way along Thika Road, all the way to Thika. The reason why nobody envisions Nairobi growing towards Athi River is because of the ground situation. It's a bit difficult to do, sewage systems, water distribution when the rock level is just 1 meter below you. It will cost you a lot. You'll end up pumping a lot. And that's one thing. So people are trying to avoid it, try and use the natural gradient. And it's a bit better towards Thika than it is towards Athi River. And then don't forget, Nairobi has 3 airports, so also it restricts the heights of buildings. There are so many buildings you can't. Actually, that's why we have short buildings. I think the highest is Times Tower, but most buildings are around 23 stories or something like that. You could go 40 stories, but just because of the airports and the locations where they are, most of the buildings you can't build higher. Like I've said, the master plan, the 1973 master plan has expired, and it expired in the year 2000. What that means is that we have no master plan at all. Nairobi is basically just rudderless. It has created a kind of a vacuum. It's a vacuum space, especially for us guys who are involved in building, in construction, in master planning. If somebody comes to us and tells us you want to build a building somewhere, we tell you, okay, no problem. Let's see if the city council will allow. You go to the city council, they tell you, they won't put it down in writing. Why? Because nobody wants to be caught saying something, and then later on, you get blamed for it. This is the 1973 master plan, just to go back to the slides. And as you can see, the growth development path was towards Thika. But it's expired, just like I said. Is that okay? Yeah. This thing has expired. So just to give an example, these are the bypass roads that are meant to have been done with the 1973 master plan, but they were never done. So right now what we are building is actually 10 years old. It's expired. I mean, once we build them, they'll be totally redundant, actually. They'll just be clogged up as, I don't know, just Mombasa Road. Look at Mombasa Road. We've widened it, but it's 10 years old. Now, just to get this information of where the bypass is, it's a mess. What I showed before, this map, is a souped-up plan of this. This is what the ministry will give you. But to get it, you'll beg them, and you'll have to sweat to get it. Then the problem is, as you can see, it's totally unclear. Where does it actually pass? What exactly does it mean? So the problem is, people are buying houses on the bypass. So you find people's buildings getting destroyed. This is the reason why we need a master plan. And right now, what we are doing is we are just relying on the media to get information. We don't know what's being planned. We don't know what's happening. For example, this is just a printout from Nation. They talk about a toll road being done 106 kilometers long, and we know it has something to do with the Southern Bypass and Mombasa Road. Now, this has a huge implication. Just to give an example, this is now what the Ministry of Roads is showing as a future of City Cabanas Junction to the Eastern Bypass and Mombasa Road. You all know it's not reality. This is not the reality. But that's what they're envisioning. So obviously, there's a plan somewhere. So for one of our clients, what we did is we went around to look for the junction of the Southern Bypass and Mombasa Road, and this is what we got. But by the way, it took running around, I don't know, like 5 ministerial buildings, not separate. There are apparently so many road departments. I didn't know that. Very many of them. And our client is located where the arrow points. This is on Mombasa Road. Now, if the junction where the circle is a toll road, that means he cannot access his site from Mombasa Road. To build an access road on Mombasa Road, he'll spend 18 million shillings. So does he spend it or does he wait? That's the issue. We tried using an access road. You can see it's below there, right round, and every time we'd bring a bulldozer out to just like grade the soil, the city council guys would come and arrest the contractor. So after some pleading here and there, we just decided, okay, let's just do something. But we'll see. We don't know when the toll road is going to come into place. It might be today, it might be tomorrow. You've seen outside this place, the entrance. This building the new construction was finished last year. I was here at the inauguration. the nice entrance porch that was done. A few months later, it's being destroyed. I mean, quite honestly, as a responsible person, I would not do that for my client because it costs a lot of money. So right now, there are so many things that are uncertain, and we're just going rudderless around. What we just need is a bit of transparency. If you can have access to the plans, you know, just a bit of, let's say the ministry says they want to do a road, just tell us, okay, this is where the road will pass, this is how wide we want to know, because they are building setbacks. You can't build a road, a building right next to the road. For example, these are digital maps of Nairobi. They're available, but for some reason they're not being issued. It should be available for everyone. You should be able to buy. Even you, just walk there, go and buy it, and you have it. And you have a complete digital map of Nairobi. So everything is transparent, no hidden things, you know, no corruption, no grabbed land. This is what at least we hope would be. Now, this vacuum of not having a master plan has created, and please look at this map properly, has created, you know, kind of a uncertainty. This is you know, because of the political situation, the Nairobi Metropolitan Ministry was created. And they came up with a document, Nairobi Metro 2030. So by 2030 it will be developed. And this is their idea of Nairobi. You can see. That is Nairobi according to them, all the way to Namanga. Amboseli is in Nairobi. Yeah. I didn't make this up. I got it from their website. So this is, according to them, what Nairobi is. We all know it's unrealistic, but this is a problem. There's a vacuum, so everybody is doing what they think they want to. Now, in this vacuum, what we've decided, we've just come up with some things. You know, Nairobi is just lucky. We have 3 rivers. 3 rivers. Which city has 3 rivers? They always have one. The Thames, you know, the Seine, the Rhine. Just think about it. Or Yellow River, whatever. But we have 3. We have the Madare River, we have Nairobi River, and we have the Ngong River. So what we are trying to do is trying to refocus everybody to this, to the rivers. And what happened is actually, this is just a picture to show you how the dams are. Look at the bottom right. How we got into it is we were asked by the Nairobi Dam Trust to just have a look at Nairobi Dam. They wanted to clean it up. In the 80s, you could sail in Nairobi Dam. It was one of the most exclusive clubs in Kenya. But because of Kibera and how it's grown, you can now walk on Nairobi Dam. Now, what happened is we had a look at it and we realized the water right up to the entrance of Kibera is clean. It's just the rest of it. You can see the red line. That's where most of the effluent comes in. So we went around, had a look at it, and what you see is solid waste being dumped in the river, pit latrines linked directly to the river. So everything just, it's a garbage dump. Everybody's taken over even flood zones. So guys have just built on it. Our solution was very simple. Pipe the clean water, and then just build on top of it kind of like a reed bed where now all this effluent, we won't move anyone, by the way, just to make it clear. We are not moving anyone. We'll just put reeds everywhere, and through a natural process, all this effluent will get cleaned up. We even have a grass that can do all this stuff. Everything is there. So we came up with a report, handed it into the government, and a minister is famous, is known now for saying he's going to swim in the Nairobi River. This was the thing. So, but we decided to go further. We looked at the rivers again. Madare River is messy. It's just a messy river. What we decided is let's look at the other 2. Nairobi River is good. It's this area, what we're showing you, this is the green area just behind here. We focused on just the first part. Nairobi River is clean up to this location. And just a bit of information, things that just converge together. The plot that is right next to us is privately owned, right up to Globe Roundabout, which was very good. Because when you're dealing with government, you never know. So what we decided to do is we just came up with a plan. We talked to the client, the owner, and talked to him, and we told him, okay, This is what we think you can do. You can dam up the river, make it wide, make it green, cover just 30% of your plot with buildings. This 30%. Anybody who's done construction will know 30% is minuscule. And most of it on the top part of the river will just have kiosks or exhibition spaces. I won't use the word kiosk, exhibition spaces. The exhibition spaces alone would now be able to fund the other side of the river, where we'll put up a hotel, some offices, just a bit high-end stuff. Just that, a very simple idea. The client bought it. We signed an MOU. We sold it to the government, and the government helped us, the city council. And right now we're at phase 3, where we've cleaned up. If you had seen it before, there were garbage collectors there. They've all been taken off. The place has been greened up. It's now very clean. Right now, Masai Market has been relocated there just because of the construction of Globe Roundabout. That's phase 3. So once the construction is done, then we'll start building the kiosks, and hopefully Masai Market will move in there, and then we'll continue the rest. The ministry was so impressed, they asked us to look at the next, from Globe Roundabout all the way to Race Course Roundabout. So we came up with this, and one of the, I would say like a spin-off was, if you must have known about it, all the, these guys, the garage guys were kicked out because somebody saw the benefit of owning land right next to a river. Our rivers are very dirty, let's face it. So we are trying to put value to the rivers and just try to refocus the attention to the rivers. One of the problems we had, you can see Globe Roundabout. That's the yellow, like overpass. It's one of these planning problems that we have. What I'm trying to explain, when there is no transparency. We got this information from the Ministry of Roads, but that's not what they're building right now. So if you had built anything close to it, it would be destroyed right now. The road is actually coming down all the way to University Way roundabout, right past the police station there. One of the problems of not having a master plan. It's a risk, you just risk it. Then we looked at Ganga River. Ganga River is Nairobi Dam, all the way, it goes past industrial area, South C, South B there. Then it starts going up Embakasi. And what happened is, one day I was flying to Kisumu, and the plane, for some strange reason, or actually not strange, there were other planes before it, the pilot had to do some corkscrew turns and climb up to a higher altitude. So while he was doing it, I just had a look out of the window, and I wish I had a camera. I was just looking, and I saw, hey, there are quite a number of disused quarries along Ganga River. Why are they disused? So we looked at them. Some of them are partly filled with water, and some of them actually being used as garbage dumps. But we thought, if they're right next to the river, why not just fill them up with water? At that time, it was right in the middle of the drought, so I have a cold. And we just came up with a plan. Why don't we just shape out the quarries, make them bigger, store water? And we got an engineer from Arup who came in, looked at it, did some few calculations, and based on just the rainwater, the amount of rainfall that we get, and the river flow, if we filled these dams, it would take care of all the water needs of Eastlands. The whole of Eastlands will not have to rely on Dakaine. That's something actually think about. We've tried selling it to the ministry, but it's been a bit of a trouble, and we really hope that they'll be able to buy this, even the Nairobi Water Sewage Company, because they have a problem, and a very big one. We've mentioned a lot about waste. That is the size the Dandora dump site, the dump site, let me call it a dump site. We have to relocate it, whether we like it or not. The dump site is going to be about 9.5 times what Dandora is right now. That area has to be put somewhere. If you can recycle or do something, I don't know. I hope we can just reduce the size of our waste that we're generating. But actually, I'm just talking about water. I won't talk about waste. And that black spot on the right, that's our sewage treatment plant. One of the problems we have is every time it rains, we put water into our sewer. So during the rainy season, Nairobi Sewage Water Company does not treat your sewage. It just lets it go down at the river. So be careful what you eat, people. You don't know what has been there. I'll stop there. I'll just say what we're trying to do is just to try and regenerate Nairobi. We're trying to refocus on things, and I pray that we'll get a master plan, because our business is to coordinate quite a number of things. We coordinate the climate, we coordinate culture, we coordinate technology, we coordinate the society and your needs. So thank you.